Welcome, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll, the midday market report on Monday, November 22nd, 2021. It is Thanksgiving week. It's a crazy, crazy week. Blink and it will be gone. We'll be passing the bird around with the stuffing and the yams and the pecan pie. And then on Friday, Black Friday, and we'll be decorating the halls, putting the tree up, putting some lights up, and getting ready for Christmas. Where to start? You know what? I'm going to bring my co-host in. The hell with it. We're going to start together because I have an event that could be as long as the show, but I want someone to play along with me. So without further ado, my co-host from the Palm Tree State himself, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Scotty, my brother, what is happening?
Well, it's Monday. It's a good day to vent, right? I mean, get it all out and have a good and get it off your chest, and that way you're clear-headed going into all the games that are coming up this week.
All right, I'm just going to put the numbers up here. I'm going to let all the listeners and people watching just take a look at the bottom of the screen, the scroller, the ticker, whatever you want to say. I'll call it out loud right now. Yesterday, NFL Sunday, favorites 8-4 straight up, 7-6 against the spread. Road teams 9-4 straight up, 9-4 against the spread. The unders 9-4. Big dogs cash. Colts plus 275. Texans plus 700. Cardinals plus 185. I'm going to start with this. And we talked at length yesterday about NFL Sunday, any given Sunday. Anyone can win. It just doesn't matter. But when I see colleagues in the same lanes as us, experts, people that listen to them, give out 4-unit teasers on a Sunday, it just blows my mind. Highly respected people in these lanes, half unit and unit players, and then say, what the hell, and give out a 4-unit teaser. And if you couldn't bet the game flat, the definition of a teaser very simply is this. It's a teaser. It teases you. It's only good until the opening kickoff. I knew, Scotty, 5 minutes into the Colts-Buffalo game, Buffalo was not going to win that game. 5 minutes into that game. And if you watch the Texans and the Titans, you could see Tennessee didn't show up. So my point is this is, if you think you're going to get up every Sunday, shake the cobwebs, and either get back what you lost the first 6 days or you become a millionaire, you're just fooling yourself. So before we break down any of these games and go on what happened yesterday, the floor is yours, Scotty.
Well, I think I've said this a lot on this channel and this show. And I don't want to come across as a know-it-all, because that's not the truth. The truth is that you learn every day, and you go and you figure stuff out, and you play with what you learn and play with what you know. However, I have seen, and you've heard me say this, and I to hear what you just said. And there are people that are respected in this business that have no reason to be respected in this business. They're all full of shit. And they just have a following that, they can get up there and then they talk this and they talk that. And then people go, oh shit, this guy knows what the hell he's talking about. So I'm going to go bet all my money on these games. And then maybe that guy has a winning day. And then all of a sudden it's like they're God. And whatever they say, that's the way it goes the rest of the time. And then all of a sudden, those people ain't getting money. So be very careful what you do, and be very careful who you put your monies on in terms of a reputation to follow, because you can get steered the wrong way real quick. And the best way I can tell you how to handle this is, if you're in a poker game And there's two different kinds of poker games, right? So poker is about if you're in a cash game, then you're playing a lot more hands, and you're trying to take not only the pot, but you want the guy's chips that are sitting in his stack, right? So you're going to be a little more loose, and you're going to play more, and you're going to have more action. You're going to play 8-9 suited. You're going to play 9-10 suited when they raise and do shit, because that's what you can do in a game where you can buy in at any time you want and put more chips out there. But if you're in a tournament, you're guarding your chip stack with your life, because once your chip stack is gone, that's your leverage and you have nothing left. So you're more patient on when you dive into a pot, and you're more patient on when you're trying to win a game. And in theory, you think the only time that you're going to be playing in a tournament like that is when you have the better odds to win. So which are you when it comes to sports gambling? Are you the guy that defends your bankroll, or are you the guy that has an unlimited bankroll stack pile and you can just go put it out there anytime you want? Because the truth is, most people aren't that. Most people are the guys that are once they put their money into the bankroll, that's what they got, and they can't go replace that bankroll. So my suggestion is that I don't know how much poker many of you have played, but most gamblers play poker. I play poker a ton. So when you sit there and think about how it kind of correlates, the truth is you need to guard your chip stack. And if you are in a world of sports gambling, that means you don't take that many shots. You take the shots when you really think you have a chance. And I get it. When you don't know what you're doing, you need to listen to people that tell you what to do. And my suggestion is going to be is that if you're listening to the guys that are out there that are in these channels that seemingly have unlimited bankrolls, then you're playing a cash game in a tournament style, and that's not going to win. Because you're going to be playing a uncomfortable lot of action, and it's not, you're going to have to hope certain things happen for you to win. And then, you're going to have to draw out to win, right? So Jeff and I are kind of coming across as more of hey, we're a poker tournament kind of team. And we're telling you to defend your bankroll, and we're telling you how to handle that so that you're in the game, right? Because ultimately, tomorrow's another day of bets. Every day there's things you can bet on. So the common rule of thumb for me is if you don't feel comfortable, then don't do it. I mean, I told you yesterday that I hated this board, and shit, I ended up with 5 goddamn plays. I didn't play any games in the afternoon, and it's a good thing I didn't, because I would have lost most of those games. And I won 3, I lost 2 yesterday, so I come away a little bit of a winner. So everything we do is not designed for you to get rich today. If we go 5-0, that's awesome, but that's to prepare you for the 0-3 day that might come the very next day. So the truth of the matter is that this is a building process, and this is something that happens over the course of time. And at the end of the time, whenever that end of time is, you just go and say, okay, this is what I collected. So I see it all the time. I see all these people on Twitter who think that they know what the hell they're doing. I see, people talk on the radio, and Sirius satellite radio, for example, has tons of these networks now. And I sit here and listen to these guys talk, and I go, how do you get on the radio and be able to spew this shit? And the truth of the matter is that's exactly what it is. There's no breakdown that's legitimate. There's nothing in there that says this is why this should happen and have cognizant reason to it. And I sit here and I go, people buy this stuff because, I don't know, these guys got on the radio, or these guys have a big following or something on Twitter, and then all of a sudden these people are in these channels and lanes, and they think that's how it's done. I can assure you, I can 100% assure you, there's a couple of things that no one really talks about, and that's the pros, right? The true pros. Number one, they play more games than you think they do. That's number one. They do. They play a lot more games than you think they do. And the reason for that is because they lose a hell of a lot more than you think they do. And you know, when they tell you that 56% is a good number to be winning, that's the God's honest truth. And the truth is if you want to make a living at this game, and if you think about it, and you only win 56% of the time and you lose 44% of the time, and then you got the juice cut factor in there, you've got margins that you're going to be winning at 2-3% of what your bankroll is. So if you're winning at 2 and 3% and you want to make a lot of money, you need to have a lot of money to play. And that's the whole thing, right? So you're going to need to be betting thousands of dollars a game if that's what you want to do to have an income of over $100,000 a year. Now, all that being said, a lot of people don't play that way. And a lot of people play for fun, and they play to have entertainment, and they play for lots of other different reasons. So you got to figure all that out as you go. And then if you like the action style and you like the cash game poker approach, and you're following these cash game poker style players, expect to lose a lot more than 44% of the time. It's just the way it works.
You know, January 1st, 2022 will be the start of our 7th year. And I like to call us the OGs on gambling Twitter. It's just what we are. We have been there. You know, I talk about my story, and my first wager was in 1975, Red Sox versus the Reds, 50 cents with my 5th grade classmate. Okay. So if you just do the math there, that's 46 years since I placed my first wager. Okay. We have been public almost the start of 7 full years. Okay. Our goal is so you guys learn from our past mistakes. Our goal simply here is to trust the process and to get you to the next day, the next week, the next month, and the next year. Okay. So perfect example, Scotty, is everyone knows here that follows us, that knows me and ECSI on this side. Sundays are the action parlay. You take your change, you put together an action parlay, and the week's complete going into Sunday. We're not chasing. If we're down 3 units, we're hoping to hit the parlay to break even for the week. If not, we pay the man and we move on. If we're up 4.23 units, we play the 2-3, or we play 0.83 and we collect our 3.5 units, hope to hit the parlay, and we move on. So yesterday, I thought instead of a 3-legged parlay, I'd let the family enjoy a 4-legged parlay. I got called out on it immediately. Hey, what are you doing here? You're sending out a 4-legged parlay here. I was like, well, you know what? I thought I would have the family enjoy an extra leg. Well, do you know what the extra leg was? Colts, Bills money line. And the parlay was shot in the first 10 minutes. And it was. And it's funny because the parlay that we had, okay, would have been Minnesota plus 108 on the money line, the Chargers money line, but also the Seahawks money line. It was going to lose anyways. And on our Circa Millions, we talk about EV, CLV. I had the Seahawks plus 2 in the Circa Millions. They closed -5. Can you ask for a better CLV? And you knew Russ still equals rust. That team's got to get blown up. Someone said it pretty good on Twitter too, as well as it looks like Pete Carroll and Russ are playing like they know they're not going to be in Seattle next year. So anyways, another thing I'll throw out here. 41 points were scored in the fourth quarter, not the game, the fourth quarter of the Steelers and the Chargers last night. I mean, like I said, I could go on forever here, just breaking down yesterday's card, and we're at week 11. So it is what it is. And I guess the the closing remarks on this sermon here today, guys, is the NFL. I always say this: those billion-dollar casinos and resorts are built on the NFL and NFL Sundays. That's all I'm going to say. I just, I don't poo-poo it. A lot of people play fantasy. We play high-stakes fantasy as well. A lot of people are glued to the individual players. There is so much shenanigans going on in the NFL, and I'm not calling it fixed. I don't call this stuff fixed, but you got to second guess referees. When a Pittsburgh Steeler guy is on top of Herbert and punches him in the stomach, no flag, no nothing. Next possession, that's the guy that puts his hands up. The ball hits him in the helmet. Pittsburgh intercepts and ties the game the next two plays. So I'm done venting about last week. Let's get to tonight's game. Rotation number 477, 478, 8:15 kickoff. The Giants travel to Tampa Bay. Opening line of 11. Actually, computer model 12.5, under over 51. An opening number of 13 initially. I'm seeing 11 along the Vegas Strip, 50 under over, Scotty. 70% of the bets coming in on the Giants. Return of Barkley. Shepard's out. Yada, yada, yada. The board is yours. Go ahead, sir.
Well, at the beginning of the year, I did a thing for JB on the NFC East, and my thoughts were that Dallas was by far the best team in that conference. They weren't going to have any issues, and blah blah blah. But I thought the next best team was probably the Giants. And now that I've watched the Giants and see how the Giants are playing and how they're going, I think they're the worst team. I think that the Redskins and I think that the Eagles are playing better than what the Giants are, and I think that has a lot to do with it could be injuries, I guess, but the truth of the matter is that that I don't care if this Barkley guy plays or not. I mean, he hasn't done anything for the last. I mean, how many 100-yard games does he have? I don't know. One in the 2 years that he's been playing, or 3 years now. I don't. I think that, and now they're going to play Tampa Bay, right? And Tampa Bay, DVOA, defense against the run, is number 1. EPA, defense against the run, is number 4. And success rate against the run is number 3. Okay, good luck. You'll run the ball all you want. You ain't going nowhere. So they're going to have to throw the ball to do anything against the Tampa Bay. And some of these teams have had some success doing that. I don't know. You and I talked a little bit ago, maybe a couple of weeks back, about this Jones kid for the Giants, and if he was on another team, would he look better than what he does? My suggestions are yes. I think he's more athletic. I think, for example, if he was on the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield was not there, the Browns would be a hell of a lot better football team. That's just how I think about it. Now, that being said, this game is all about how much does Tampa Bay want to win by. I mean, I don't know how else other than to put it. Tampa Bay has not really put a full quality game together so far this season. And if you remember last year, they did the same shit. They didn't put full quality games together until, I don't know, sometime in November. And then all of a sudden, blam, blam, blam. You couldn't touch them. You couldn't stop them. You couldn't do anything. They just were rolling teams. And they haven't done that yet this year. I mean, they've scored a lot of points, and they are, depending on what metrics you use. And it cracks me up when I watch these TV shows and stuff on national television, and they tell you how these teams are ranked on offense and stuff, and all they're using is yards. And I sit there and I go, holy shit, who cares about yards these days? It's how you manipulated the system to get those yards, and what you're doing, and that's important, not just the yards. So they all are saying, oh, how great this defense is, and how great that defense is, and this, that, and the other thing. And one of the big ones is scoring defense, right? Okay, scoring defense is great. Okay, well, so what? They've played a weak schedule. Who cares, right? So all of that goes into context. And that's why I use certain different numbers that I use. And when I come up with numbers, Jeff, the raw numbers are 31 to 19. That's the raw numbers that come out. And then when you put in the influence, meaning that you look at the EPA stuff and the DVOA stuff, it becomes 37 to 17. Tampa Bay tonight. The question becomes: do they really care about scoring 37 points? Because obviously, there's the average number that they should score is 31. And then when I looked at some of the stuff to try to figure out what the best way to bet it is, the over under on the team totals is like 30.5. So that's a reasonable number, right? I mean, 31 to 19 is a reasonable number to get started with. And then you kind of use the influence and it becomes 37 to 17. So the question becomes is how do you want to handle it? Do you want to handle the guys that score the points, or do you want to handle the team that doesn't? And I'm seeing, team totals on the Giants at 19.5 to go over the number. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, they ain't going over 19.5. But it is not. So I think the best way to play tonight's game is to play the New York Giants under 19.5.
And I was just breaking down some numbers here, and everyone listening here, I'll take it to the step further. What I like to do, the first half numbers, initially Giants 9.5 and Tampa 16.5, juiced over 115. Still getting that 16.5 at Pinnacle, 8.5 over 125 on the Giants. And I look at the spread here, and I can get Tampa opened at 6.5 minus 115 now to 120. So again, does Tampa get to that 17 number? What do the Giants get to? 6, 7, 9, or 10? I personally, everyone listen here, would lean Giants first. I'm sorry, Tampa first half minus the 6.5. I think you got a Tampa team that has struggled the last few weeks. I know I'm waiting for Twitter to come up with Tom in primetime games has lost his last 12 or whatever. I think this is usually the time that you're going to see a focused Tampa team. You talked about Barkley not able to run. I think they'll try to get him in the space, a lot of dump downs, check downs, screen passes. We'll know early here. I think you're going to get that Tampa focused team laser sharp. All right, it's showtime now. We're getting the Thanksgiving, the last 6 weeks of the NFL season before the playoffs. I lean Tampa minus 6.5 in that first half. Thoughts on that play?
No, I like it. Then you don't have to worry too much because they're going to be out there trying. It's a home game for them. The weather here's hit or miss tonight. It doesn't say anything about rain and some of the other stuff that I looked at, but it's supposed to rain today. It's not necessarily supposed to be raining when the game starts. And then it's supposed to get cold for us. I mean, I know it's not cold for everybody else, but if it's 50 degrees here, I got to put on a winter coat. So it gets cold. And I always tell people, it's, when you're used to 85, 90 every single day, and then it's 50 degrees, that 50 degrees, I'm from Ohio, so I'm in a point where I've been in minus degree weather and stuff. That cold hits you. So anyway, it just feels different. Anyway, all that being said, I like the first half play a lot. I don't like the Giants over 19.5 points tonight. Well, let me look at something real quick. How many times have the damn Giants been over 19.5 points? I can find that out real fast because I can pull up this site and then I can go to the NFL and matchups. And then I can click on that team if I scroll to the bottom. There they are. Let's see. So last week they scored 23 against the Raiders. And then they scored 17 against the Chiefs. They scored 25 against the Panthers. They scored 11 against the Rams, 20 against the Cowboys, 27 against the Saints, 14 against the Falcons, 13 against the Broncos. So they haven't scored over 19.5 that many times. And now they're playing, Tampa Bay. So and then they got the Eagles on deck, right? So that's a game that I think that's probably more important to them than playing the damn Buccaneers. But I think regardless of what happens tonight, I don't think there's any way the Buccaneers are going to lose the game. And I think that it's just a matter of how much scoring do they want to do? I mean, how bad do they really want to win this game? And I think Tom Brady's in one of those situations where they haven't been super sharp, and I think that he's one of the guys that he's going to want to be super sharp. I'm just getting ready to pull up quarterback numbers here and see kind of where these guys are sitting. So Tom Brady is ranked 5th in EPA plus CPOE. Now CPOE is completion percentage over expected. So when you combine the two, which these are great metrics, by the way, he ranks 5th. And you slide down to the Giants quarterback, and that's Jones. He ranks 25th. So if you got the 5th best NFL quarterback going against the 25th best NFL quarterback, give me the 5th best NFL quarterback, and I'm happy because you think about offense, and then you do the same thing with offense. Now this will just be a total EPA number, but you start to look at it. Offense, number one offense in all of football is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their EPA per play is much higher than anybody else, and Arizona is number 2, Green Bay is number 3, and then you slide all the way down to 24 to get to the Giants. And I just think that you've got an upper level team, not even an upper level team. I mean, this is a top 5 NFL football team. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is ranked 8th in all of football, even though they've been thrown on. They're getting to that point where that's getting better and better. So they're going to put one of these games together where you can't do anything on them. And the Giants might be that team. The Giants are 21st on defense. So they're in the bottom third of everything. The quarterback, the offense, the defense, all of it. So you sit there and you look at it and you go, okay, well, it's just a matter of how bad does Tampa Bay really want to do anything. So that first half play means a lot because they're going to try in the first half. They might take their foot off the gas in the second half. So I like that idea. I might probably jump on that play with you. Do the first half number with Tampa Bay, and I'm probably going to play the Giants under the 19.5. But what I've been doing that's been pretty good, especially in the NFL, is I've been waiting until the second half, and I've betting these games live, and I've been betting team total unders. Once you kind of get an idea, like yesterday, I played the Raiders team total was they had 3 points or something like that in at halftime, and then the total was 13.5, and I'm like, holy shit, that means they got to score 2 touchdowns for me to lose. They ain't scoring 2 touchdowns, so I bet the team total under, and that happened. And then there was another one I did the same thing on, and that one came in too. So I won. I was 3-2 on the show yesterday, and then I added that live bet, and then I added another one. So I actually made out pretty good. But that's kind of what I'm talking about here is that Giants bet. If you like the team total under 19.5, wait till halftime. See how the game's breaking out. See what's going on, and kind of get an idea. Like if they got very few first downs, they're punting all the ball all the time. They ain't going to do a whole lot more in the second half. It's going to kind of stay the same way. And then when you look at the numbers, they're going to ask the bet will be is can they score 2 touchdowns or not? And then you got to sit there and go, well, hell no, they ain't going to score 2 touchdowns. And then you sit there and go, okay, well, I'm going to bet this game under.
As I stated when the show started, it's Thanksgiving week. Crazy, crazy week. We have a couple guests coming up throughout the week. Andrew McGinnis, Wager Talk, potentially Dave Sharapan, Sports Consig, Cash Consideration Show. Yourself and myself will be on and off because of the crazy schedules. But our goal simply is to get you as much information as possible and at least maybe put the light bulb a little tighter. Maybe if something flashes, something, you see what we're trying to teach, preach, or however you guys want to say it. Again, it's Monday. It's a new start. It's a new week. It's a new beginning. We literally have what, eight 39 days left in this year, and then we're already talking 2022. There's so much going on this week with the college football rivalries, college basketball tournaments, 3 games in the NFL on Thursday. The list is endless. So what myself and Scotty want to do here again is, if you guys have any questions, follow myself on EC Sports Invest, follow Scotty on Webby20 MLB, both on Twitter. You can send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. Go to our website at eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. Just check us out. We're here to, yeah.
Yeah, I know we're getting ready to close up, but because I know I'm not going to be on in the morning on Tuesday. I did do the Tuesday football games: Buffalo, Ball State, Western Michigan, Northern Illinois.
Okay.
And the only thing I wanted to give people a heads up on here is that Ball State is 6.5-point favorites, and circa, I think they're -7, something like that, over Buffalo. And what I found interesting in this game is that EPA total rank, right? So this offense, defense, all of it. The Buffalo is 88th in the country, which isn't that good. I mean, there's 130 teams, so they're a little bit below average. Ball State's 104th. So you got a 20-spot advantage here, edge to Buffalo, and you're getting a touchdown. Then you got to sit there and go, well, why the hell is that? Well, the reason for that is because Buffalo's defense just sucks ass. I mean, they're 126th out of 130 schools. So they can't stop you and me running down the field, Jeff, and I can't walk hardly. So, I mean, it's one of those, I mean, holy shit. So, but Ball State's offense is 96th. So how much of an edge really is it? I mean, I sit here and I think to myself, well, holy shit, this is a pretty good matchup. I get it that you're going to run into a team that can't stop a nosebleed, but you also have a team that they can't blow their nose. So then you look at it on the other side, and Buffalo's offense is 51st. So out of 130 schools, they're above average. They're pretty good. They can run the football. So I think that they can hang within that number, and Buffalo's probably a pretty good spot here. And the other game is Western Michigan and Northern Illinois, and this is just I don't know how anybody's going to stop anybody. The Western Michigan ranks 29th in offense. Northern Illinois ranks 23rd in offense. So they both play really good offense. Western Michigan is 75th on defense, and Northern Illinois 122. So here you go. These MAC schools can't stop high school kids. And then you go Western Michigan being that good on offense, they're only 3.5-point under to our favorites. So I kind of like Buffalo, and I kind of like Western Michigan tomorrow night. If we don't get a chance to talk about it, which we probably won't, but and then we've got these games on Thursday night: Mississippi State. That's going to be a fun one to talk about. And then there's Fresno State and San Jose State, Jeff. And I looked at that, and San Jose State ranks 19th in the country on defense. Hell, I didn't know that. And then Fresno State ranks 14th. This game's going to be 0-0, for God's sakes. Who's going to score? So I'm like, holy shit, nobody wants – this is going to be one of the most boring-ass games to watch that you can on Thanksgiving Day night. Holy shit.
We got you guys covered, soup to nuts. Soup to nuts, guys. So reach out to us. Our DMs are always open. We'll answer any question. Throw us out a question. Leans, why we're here, why we're not here, anything that you guys got, we're here to answer. It's going to be a fun week. Return of the MAC tomorrow and Wednesday, Thanksgiving Day on Thursday, football, more football, and then we'll get you ready for the weekend for week 12 and beyond. So from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Scotty Webb, at Webby20MLB. Always remember this. If you're wagering tonight, wager with your head, not your heart. If you have a problem, pick up that phone. There's an 800 number right out there. Ask for help. Why? Because we care. And we want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, and in 22 and beyond. So have a blessed day. Best of luck with your wagers. And we will see you hopefully tomorrow.